महबूब जी, थोड़ा आप अनम्यूट कीजिए आपका। हमेशा आप ऑन रख रहे हैं।
Good evening, everyone.
गुड इवनिंग वसुधा मैम।
Um, this class is of managerial economics. I hope the title is clear and there's no confusion in joining the class. So we have discussed yesterday's class, Unit 1, which was all about the basics of managerial economics, nature, scope, relationship between various concepts and the principles, techniques, analysis, etc. And here we move on to the next unit, which is all about a firm. So basically, you will be learning here in the second unit about what is a firm, what are the main objectives of a firm, and the decision issues which are involved with respect to firms, and the theories which have been developed by the economist and how they can be um, adopted in order to better understand the existing firms and make wise decisions. All right. So I hope every one of you can use chat box. I think all of you must have been muted in order to avoid the audios at your end, but you are open to use the chat box. If you have any queries, if the screen is not visible, please do put up your message in chat box and I am able to look at your chat box. I can immediately reply to your queries on. Okay. So is anyone there to tell me if you know what is a firm? What do you mean by firm? It's a company. Very good, Bharat. See, basically, any business which has been established in order to make profits out of it and maximize the shareholders' wealth is considered to be a firm. Homogeneous firm put together comprises of an industry, makes an industry. Okay. And if you look at the various economist has defined the firm which is all about a sole proprietorship. It can be a partnership, it can be a cooperative as well. So the entrepreneurship basically includes risk and uncertainty. These two are the main elements of an entrepreneurship, and the firm is associated with these two elements. And the decision maker should be very clearly knowing the kind of risk and the uncertainty involved in such an industry before establishing a firm. Either it's a sole proprietor, partnership, or cooperative body, whatsoever it could be. But yes, the individual or a group of people who are planning to establish should thoroughly understand the industry, the risk associated with that industry, and the uncertainties based on which they can make strategic decisions. Now, the present, if you look at the chapter, the firm here is concerned with an entrepreneur who has got all the rights to make decisions about do's and don'ts in the firm, uh, with respect to inputs and outputs, inputs in the form of raw material, outputs in the form of sales, etc. So hence, entrepreneur is being said to be playing a key role in a firm. Okay. And why do the firm exist? The firms exist because it is it is very inefficient and costly for entrepreneurs to cater to the needs and contacts with the workers of the owners, land, like capital and other resources for each separate step of the production and distribution process. In order to save such transaction cost, in order to maintain all these land, labor, capital, interestingly, many transactions which performs many firm functions in the firm saves on sales, taxes, and avoids price control and other government subsidies, etc. That only enables the transactions of the firms to save and make enough and sufficient profit. Their main objective is to maximize the profits, minimize the cost and maximize the profit. And thereby, they happen to purchase resources such as labor, services, raw materials, etc., which are transformed into good and services, readily available product for sale. And then all these are used, like the workers, the land, the capital is used in order to generate the income out of it, that is revenue out of it. And once the sales of these goods and services starts, the revenue is generated. And if you look at the economic activity which enables a person to buy, a worker working in a firm will start receiving the salary, thereby leading to increase his purchasing power. That means here I'm referring to when he is able to get sufficient amount in his hand, he is now in a position to buy certain things. And this is creating demand for those kind of goods and services. Otherwise, when the person was unemployed, he would have not. So that way, demand for goods and services are created in the market, leading to production activity. This production activity back leads to the usage of land, labor, and capital in the production houses. And this land and labor generates income. So if you look at this complete flow of the activity, it, is a circular motion. It's like an, circle. The demand for goods and services arises when the labor starts receiving the income, wages, salaries, etc., leading to increase in their purchasing power, leading to increase in the demand of goods and services, leading to increase in purchases of raw material and utilization of land, labor, and capital. So this flow keeps on moving round until the economic activity. This is, very popularly we refer it as an economic activity, which is dependent on each other. And that's how the flow is measured. And in order to better understand how and what the demand or the firm can make the best decisions, etc., these all inputs gives them idea in supports them in making the wise decisions, strategic decisions for a firm in order to grow and develop and give a competitive edge to their competitors. Now, if you look at the classifications of the firm, these are based on purely the ownership, management, and control. Firms have been classified into public sector, private sector, joint, and non-business, business and non-business. On the basis of their ownership, they are referred as proprietorship, partnerships, and corporations. Hospitals, museums, churches, voluntary organizations, cooperative societies, cooperative banks, credit unions, labor unions, foundations, all these comes as in the form of cooperatives. Okay, such an organization provides services to a group of people or members who are members of those unions exclusively. And this classification will help the firms to understand their objectives of the firms well in better, so as to make proper strategic decisions. Then we have output, which is in the form of basically goods and services. And the 5 factors of production that we usually refer, 5 elements. Those are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and organizations are employed. Labor, entrepreneurship, and organization, these are all referred popularly as human factors of production, while natural and man-made resources are a part of capital resources. All right. So, yeah. Objectives of the firm, if you look at the main objectives, aim of the firm is to make profit as much possible as. That is profit maximization. Then we have value maximization. This value maximization here refers to the added value associated with buying of goods or services is referred here as value maximization. So when a person is making a purchase, what value he is going to derive out of his purchase. Okay, in this generation, products are more focused on giving value. That's where the concept of customization is booming. Then we have sales maximization. So sales maximization is all about the, the efforts which are put in order to make the sales happen. Happening of a sale, very commonly is not something which is targeted here. Here, maximizing sales refers to planning properly, the planning properly, the sales, when it comes to occasions like festivals, uh, suppose if you look at this season, summer season, most of them plan for uh, holiday trips, 2 day, 3 day, as per their convenience. So this is something, they have to extract the best from this particular season. If a firm is into, the tourism, or say airlines, or say, any kind of, food business during this period, all are connected, and maximum uh, planning in order to make maximum sales, you need to have a proper strategic planning, which includes value addition, which is derived by the customer. The focusing here would be make enough sufficient sales happen so as to maximize the profits and generate the revenue, and also provide customized, you know uh, product, so that they the customers feel happy, and yes, so that the customers feel happy and they happen to make more purchases. So not just they themselves, but they even start going for word of mouth publicity. So that way, sales maximization is another objective of the firm. Size maximization, long run survival, utility maximization, satisfying, and other non-profit objectives are in the list. If you look at size maximization, it's all about the amount, the number, the units, and the reach, the geographical reach it is going, and these all indicates that how far the company is been developing and reaching without any geographical limit. So that also plays a vital role in developing a firm successfully. Long run survival, see, there are certain exclusive products which are temporary, seasonal, and we call them as FAD. And there are certain products which are, round the clock, people need it, and they are something classified as a necessity. So you need to here classify accordingly and plan properly whether these needs are for short run or long run. And company or a firm always tries to go for a long run survival. They would definitely concentrate on next 5 years plan, that's a short term, and they also have a long-term plan which is above 5 years. So that way, the planning is done, and the importance is given to the duration in which they can attain the break-even point and start generating the income. Utility maximization is all about the land, labor, which is available. Labor is hired, land is invested in. So maximum utilization of these resources like capital, land, labor is to be done so as to maximize and squeeze the best profits out of it. Make the company profits, generate the revenue out of it. Suppose if there's a huge, acres of land available to conduct a business, And this land is only utilized from morning 8 to evening 5 o'clock, say 8 hours, at the most 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours. So in a day of 24 hours, this land is being utilized only for 8 to 10 hours, and the remaining time it is free. Likewise, you can even, try to understand with respect to capital equipment, investment, etc., wherein they certain resources would be idle. Suppose there is a machinery on which people are working, a group of people are working, and that machinery is only able to run for 5 hours, and you have hired a labor for 8 hours in a day. Now, here you are losing because you are not able to utilize the labor for the next 3 hours, and those 3 hours are considered to be the idle hours. These idle hours in future will turn as a burden on the company's profitability, and they may have damage on, they may hamper the profitability and thereby increase the cost of making a product. So that way, utility maximization plays an important role. Okay, so whatever resources are available have, have to be utilized to the maximum so as to extract the best. Satisfaction and non some other objectives are discussed. I hope the objectives of the firms are clear to all of you, right? So whatever I have been explaining with respect to profit maximization is explained here with an example of a manufacturer manufacturing 150 tables per month and sells it at rupees 100 per. If you have the material, please go through this and try to understand this example. You can work out this and identify, calculate the profits for the firm, wherein you can divide the whole into explicit and implicit cost. When you deduct this from total revenue, you will get the economic or pure profit. Okay, just do the simple calculation for your better understanding, and then we'll move on to the next. All right, let's move on. Hmm. Value maximization. In order to derive, uh, understand and derive the value maximization, there is an equation which is mostly used in the by the firms and in the industry to better understand the wealth and the value of the firm. And for this is the equation, which is PV, that is the present value. Okay. If you look at the future values, total revenue here, it refers to TR, and marginal revenue is denoted as MR, total cost as TC, total revenue as TR, discount rate as R. So in order to calculate the wealth or value of the firm, the present value is equals to pi 2 divided by 1 plus r to the power of 1 plus pi 2 divided by 1 plus r to the power of 2. That is the second year plus so on up to the number of years. That is n years. Okay. To simplify, it is easy for the firms to calculate the wealth or say value of the firms. If you look at the objectives of the firm's main objective lies in maximizing the wealth. And these wealth maximization, in order to attain this, there are many challenges. And those challenges, if you look at, the firm at times may not have skilled workers. They may shortfall with some technology, or they may not have capital investments so as to expand their business. Suppose if there is a simple example here, technological upgradation. Okay. Suppose presently the company is using some technology, and further in order to upgrade themselves, they have to invest heavily on certain new softwares in order to upgrade and also upgrade the staff. That means the existing staff needs to be given training. For this, they need huge amount, right? So that way, if you look at the value or wealth of the firm, will maximize. Suppose if they are adopting the new phase, the new things, then the wealth will definitely be maximized. Otherwise, they'll be considered as a firm which is not ready to accept the change, and may hinder certain, in a different ways, they may face problems in the market, from the competitors, from the customers. Customers may not be happy in in buying the goods or services from them. So that way, constraints are associated. So these constraints are to be better understood, and a solution is to be drafted so as to concentrate and focus on maximizing the wealth of the firm. Okay. So if you look at certain theories which have been discussed here in this unit, is economic theory of the firm, behavioral theory of the firm, and managerial theory of the firm. Now, let's begin with understanding economist theory of the firm. This is based on certain assumptions. And the assumption is number one, the firm is said to be transformation unit. That means that the firm transforms its raw material into finished products. And where this activity is being conducted or by whomsoever it is conducted, they are referred as a firm. They are referred as a firm. And this may probably include anything like mines, commercials, consultancies, banks, educational institutions, manufacturing units, agricultural, machines, minerals, materials, anything for that sake, where the activity is all about converting a raw material into finished product is, the firm is transformation unit. That means where the unit is said to be transforming the raw material into finished products. Secondly, the assumption is all about the factors into product which create surplus value. That means there is a profit which is associated with any product or good which is sold by the company or the firm. But over and above that, some additional value is being added so as to make more profit. That means maximize the profits. And that here is all about the value of the output, that is the goods or the final product, which exceeds the raw material. This enables people to create a value addition to the product. And this value addition is again renamed as popularly profit, or say surplus of the revenue or over the cost. Okay. Next we have the firm not only makes profit, but it also should aim at maximizing the profits. See, profit is anyway associated, like you are making a product of rupees 100, of say cost of making that product good is 100. So when you are fixing a price, it might include a margin. Okay. If not included, you will add it. Like you can make it 120 and start selling it. This way, you are just drafting your policy towards making profit. But how can you maximize the profits? Maximizing the profits here means trying to make more and more sales happen. And these sales, when are happening, it will, suppose if 100 units are sold, 20 rupees per unit, 100 units, 2000 rupees is profit. Is that okay? No. For a firm to attain, maximize, attain, a break-even point and maximize the profit, they have to do sufficient sales so as to reach to that level and reach it at the earliest possible so that the profits are maximized and the benefits can be distributed to all the equity shareholders, etc. So profit maximization becomes a prime object. In order to maximize the profit, the firm follows equi-marginal principle. That is, marginal revenue is equals to marginal cost. MR is equals to MC. MR here refers to marginal revenue. This condition is an equilibrium where it holds the market structure to which the firm belongs And in addition to this, the condition of MR is equals to MC. The industry's equilibrium condition is referred as AR, that is average revenue and average cost. What usually the economists call this as a normal profit. Okay, the structure of the industry continues unstable, probably maybe because of the movement of in and out of, the industry. People keep coming, entering the industry, and then leaving the industry with losses, etc. So the market environment of the firm is known completely. And if the firm does not have to incur any information on cost to obtain the knowledge about the market environment, then the market models are developed and assumptions are fixed in order to certainly understand the models and develop some understanding so as to make enough sufficient profits, revenues can be generated. This is all about to gain the knowledge of the market. Based on this knowledge of the market, the firm decides operational variables to maximize profits. And this optimum decision rule, which is operated on the relevant variable. For example, suppose if you are in perfect competition, the firm is price taker. Under imperfect competition, the firm is price maker. That means imperfect competition, they can decide the prices for their product. The choice of operational decision variables ultimately depends on the nature of the market. Thereby, economics explain the adjustment process of this decision variable of the firm in order to predict the firm's behavior under a set of given assumptions. Now, this being a certain, prime, uh, points on which a firm can start looking at developing their own theory and looking at how better they can fit it in. Besides, there are people who are into critics and who does the criticism, and those criticism comes here on the basis of two assumptions, that is motivational and cognitive. So here they summarize here that the profit maximization is not only the motive or the drive behind any firm's activity in order to make the profits. The objective of the firm, therefore, to maximize profit is all about, motivational assumption. And this assumption here stands in two aspects, that is maximize profits and no other decision variables. Secondly, firm maximizes the profit and maximizes the behavioral intentions of the firm. The cognitive assumption here is all about the complete knowledge of the world, certainly what the competitors are doing, how the information is flowing, and how the strategic decision is made by them. Also here, the market environment is risk-free and there is no uncertainty, is assumed that way. Everything is said to be known, definite, and calculative and predictable. So, but both these assumptions are attacked by many experts and they have reviewed categorically by raising the two questions: do firms really maximize profits or do firms only maximize profits? So that way, the questions have been raised and the firms are intended here to maximize not only a single variable profit function, but they happen to understand the main, area through which the profitability can be attained. As in the case, if you look at the firms mainly have profit maximization, number one, as in their prime objective. And second objective is wealth maximization. So in view of this, long-term survival, security, and stability is all, discussed here under cognitive assumptions. Okay. So cognitive assumptions, if you look at, are uh, a reality, but to great extent, the firm has to search for information flow and choose the relevant information to direct in its course of economic activity. The theory of the choices, the theory of search, happens to be essential in, the business firms, and the firms are deliberate rather than maximizing their attitudes. All right. And next we have behavioral theory of the firm. And here in behavioral theory of the firm, Professor H.A. Simon's satisfaction behavioral model is referred, which is focused on the actual performance is less than the aspiration. Actual performance of is equal to aspiration and greater than aspiration. So that is, these three assumptions as per the Simon, and the organizational behavior or individual behavior is compared. And according to the situation, uh, the performance is being calculated and understood. And this follows, if you look at the firm remains satisfied here in the case of first situation, neither of the search behavior nor of lowering aspiration levels results promptly enough in the achievement of satisfaction situation. Hence here, the firm's behavior pattern will become one of apathy and aggression. Okay. Then we have Mar's managerial theory of the firm. Okay. And there are criticism again for this theory. All right. So there are questions at the end of the chapter unit. You all can focus on this in understanding and making your own notes out of it about, the short answers and the long answers. And here you have certain keywords in the summary is given. There are certain assessment questions as in the form of activities given. I hope you all can do it. Further, if you look at, you will also find some, you know, model questions, suggested readings. So if you have time, I would suggest you here to refer Adhikari's textbook and Mishra and Puri's textbook, which gives you a broad view, uh, understanding of, these all theories. It's a very good, they're very good textbooks to refer. All right. So with this, I stop this. I will not start the new unit. Tomorrow, we will again begin with the new unit. So yeah, I will stop the class here. If you have any queries, you can put up in the chat box. We can discuss. Yes, if you have any queries, please raise your queries in the chat box or unmute. Otherwise, you can join the next class. I think it is already scheduled at 8 o'clock. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
All right. So take care. Bye bye. See you again next class.